strong, body strong. Try to find equilibrium. Head straight, screwed on. We screwed up for too long.
Welcome back, everybody, to another segment here on Swim Bike Run Alabama. I'm Parker Edmiston with my good friend Doug Tinkham, and we're at Straight Dale Breweries on Lehman Ferry Road. If you have not been to Lehman Ferry Road over here at the Straight Dale Brewery, you owe it to yourself and your friends to come out and check this great facility out. They have tours on Saturday. They make some fantastic beer.
And you better hurry because they're moving soon.
They're moving. Bigger facility right here in Huntsville, but this is a microbrew hub for Huntsville, Alabama.
It's the macro of microbrews.
Wow,
Did you see how many
Big Daddy
barrels
Mac.
they've added?
Well, they're missing one, but don't say anything.
Two.
Yeah.
Maybe three.
Yeah. So we got Matt Blevins with us again today, and Matt, of course, owners of Blevins Bicycle Company on Whitesburg Drive. You head out on Whitesburg and go towards South Memorial, and he's down there across from the post office. Matt, thanks for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
I've got a question for you right off. Is it's really sticky, muggy outside, and I'm looking for some riding gear that's going to help me ride better and cooler. Is there such a thing?
There is, yeah. There's endless amounts of clothing out there. There's a ton of brands. We sell Louis Garneau, Pearl Izumi, and a little bit of Hencappy too. And really, it's all personal preference too. I know there's some jerseys that I like that everybody's real partial to, and then vice versa. Main thing is try it on and see. This time of year, it's good to go with something that is as thin as possible. Everybody knows how hot it is around here. And actually looking at jerseys and shorts and gloves also that have UV protection is a fantastic idea too. Because if you're out for a long time, doing 25, 50, 100
25.
miles.
That's from last week.
That's one of those things that you can get burned through your clothes if you're not careful. So.
Okay, the sleeves that you can put on, the
cooling arm
sleeves,
coolers, yeah.
Do they make a jersey in that? Because those things are amazing. I use them on my 25-mile ride, and you can feel it. They work.
I've never seen one. I'm sure just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not out there. But I haven't seen like a cooling
I'd like one
jersey.
that said Bevins on it.
Yeah. I've always wished that Under Armour would do some stuff because they make really great hot weather stuff. I don't know why they haven't gotten to cycling. Maybe they will eventually.
Well, there's a lot of apparel out there that allows you to wear it during the run and such. So people are getting off the bike and putting on running gear. And so it seems like it'd be an easy thing to have is cycling gear with it.
No doubt.
You're out there, and especially you're in a prone position sometimes. You're out on the aero bars, and it just cooks your arms.
Yeah, for sure. So having a good set of the arm coolers is a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
They help you to stay cool, and they also provide really good UV protection.
And they
as well.
look cool.
They do look cool. You can get the ones that look like you have tattoo sleeves on.
So many people say, "Why are you wearing those sleeves? It's hot out."
Yeah.
I'm not even going to tell you.
When you wear those, Doug, do you also put the water on your arms? Or
I
you
didn't
even
last
need
time
it?
because you start sweating and then they start cooling. By the
Okay.
time you heat up, they cool down.
Okay.
A nice full zip jersey too. I personally prefer a full zip jersey. So if I'm climbing and I'm just going nice and slow, unzip the whole thing, get a little bit of air in. Women, I don't know if you want to do that or not.
I'm a proponent.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
No.
But full zip jersey, at least 3/4 zip jersey. The lighter colors this time of
Turtleneck
year.
bad, yeah.
No, turtleneck not good. So, also a nice helmet. The higher end road helmet specifically. Really, what you're paying for is the lightweight, but also ventilation. You'll see a lot of them, like the Cat-like brand, and a lot of the Giros and Bells and all that. They have the huge inlets and outlets so air can get in.
Don't
and out
wear a
easily.
cat-like in front of him. He'll make fun of you.
Yeah, Doug wears sometimes. I think is it one of the roller derby helmets that you wear just a bowl with some sort of a leather strap? That's a good look.
It's a spaghetti calendar.
Yeah, if you're going to go low tech.
Yeah, well, that works too.
So I guess that airflow over the skull is going to help you
Big
cool
time.
off.
Yeah, they help you cool off a lot. So
Now I guess there's also with the padding of the shorts, the different brands have different types of padding for the chamois pad. And depending on how far you're riding, 25, 50, or 100, you have to have different chamois pads.
Oh, for sure. Each brand, there's a ton of brands out there, and each brand has multiple options for for chamois pads. Of course, with a tri-specific short, they're going to be a little bit thinner, just so they're easier to swim and run in as well. Maybe not the best thing to ride in every single day with it being thin. If you're training, you're probably good to get your butt used to a little bit thinner pad. But if you're just riding road mainly, go with a nice thick pad.
I like to go thin pads. I'm not expecting any more children. So is that?
You switch out, though. I mean,
I know, I got to.
I've never
Yeah.
seen. I mean, why would you give up that time?
See, in between, when you come off the bike and you go into transition, some people just wear what they biked in.
Yeah.
But depending on if it's a long, half distance or a full Ironman event, I go into the tent and I change into running shorts.
You clean your headset out, don't you?
I do, because if not, then you've got these
You got
the
issues,
problems,
yeah.
man. Yeah, so I'm ready
Preventive
for next
maintenance,
time.
yeah.
That's right. And, so the chamois pad is also important. How about socks? Someone asked me the other day, how come you don't wear socks? In 15 seconds, do I need to wear socks when I'm cycling?
Personal preference. I don't. A lot of people do. My feet feel better when I don't wear socks. But there's a time in my life where socks were a hell of a lot
I'm
better.
at a time in my life
Yeah.
where I like socks.
Yeah. Well, listen, Matt Blevins Bicycle Company down on Whitesburg Drive. Go down and see him. Matt's a wealth of knowledge, a great shop. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back after these messages. Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. Another segment here on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. We're brought to you by Straight Dale Brewery on Lehman Ferry Road. I'm Parker Edmiston.
I'm Doug Tinkham, and we're at Straight Dale Brewery.
Straight Dale Brewery. We're in the brew house, the brew room, the what would you call this?
The brewery.
There we go. We're in the brewery. We're in the back room, man, where all the beer is made. And see all this beer behind
and
us?
some of it is drank.
Oh, it is indeed. Great beer. We got a special guest, Justin Quackenbush. I'm only going to say that one time.
There
Justin
you go.
Quackenbush.
He did good.
From CrossFit Nomad over in Madison. Justin's a hammer dog, and we want to pick his brain a little bit about getting into CrossFit competition. Justin, tell us a little bit, where do you work at?
I work for Remington Outdoor Company. Relatively new to Huntsville. Got here in August of last year. Really enjoy the area, but worked for Remington for a couple of years.
Is that Remington the gun company? Or?
Yes, that's
oh,
correct.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So you came into town, and were you an athlete before you got here, and what'd you do?
I did. I played a lot of sports in high school. Kind of picked up running just to stay in shape during college, and I spent the last 6 months before I moved here kind of traveling and was on the road for work and paid the price for that, and got down here and was just looking for something different, and came across CrossFit Nomad. It was close to home. Stopped in one day, and I've kind of been there ever since.
Tell us your first day that you walked into the Madison CrossFit Nomad. What did you find?
Very open, family atmosphere. Everyone was very friendly, welcoming. Sometimes you go to what I'll call the Globo gyms, and you get that feeling like you're kind of over in the corner. You could be the last person working, and you're going to have 18 people cheering you on until you're done with that workout, patting you on the back, clapping.
Which is also a reason not to be last.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not in a bad way by any means. It's very encouraging.
Yeah.
It's a big family. Saturdays when you get a lot of people there for the Saturday morning workout, it's fun. Everyone's joking. Everyone's there. Just really open atmosphere.
Now, is it the same? I notice a lot of times when I'm finishing an event and I'm running down the chute the last 50 yards, Doug is on the sideline yelling, "You suck,
No,
quit,
that's-
you suck, quit, give it up, fat man."
No, it's-
Is that the same sort of
You got it
encouragement?
backwards.
Yeah,
or y'all actually encourage?
We do. It's a very encouraging environment.
Okay.
Everyone wants to see you excel. Everyone wants you to see you hit your goals and aim high. So
Now imagine, you are young, trim, and probably very athletic, but some of the folks that start their training program aren't in great shape, and so I guess there's a wide variety of athletes that walk in the door.
there is, and like Casey was talking about earlier, it's very scalable. I wasn't probably in the best shape when I started out. I was scaling workouts. I was doing alternate movements until I really got.
You only did 50 burpees instead of the 55.
Yeah.
But very, very scalable. Like I said, it's meant for everybody. You can make it work for anybody who comes through the door.
So you got in, and I know Casey last week talked to us about, there's a ramp-up period for folks who aren't into CrossFit, and so you ramp up, learn the moves and such, and you progressed, and did you start doing races? Have you already done races, CrossFit?
I've done a couple competitions.
Okay.
Done a couple team competitions with someone else that I worked out with when I first started. did fairly well at those for being in a
won.
scaled division. We did place first for the scaled
There you
division.
go.
Oh, wow.
How did I
not
know
bad.
that?
Wow. Yeah.
But you know, the on ramp, it's very helpful. Like Casey was talking about, it introduces you to moves. I mean, my past was not in weightlifting, so that fundamental. This is the movement. This is how you keep good form. This is how you, prevent injury. It goes a long way because when you get into the WODs and the other strength conditioning training, it helps you out. You know, you don't do a heavy weight unless you know you can keep your form.
What races have you done so far?
I did the. I think it was the Tough Stuff events at Rocket City CrossFit.
Okay.
I believe that was in April.
So that was just a gym that put it on, and it was just more CrossFit there on site?
Yeah, that was more of a CrossFit competition, not
Okay.
really endurance.
Okay. And you're signed up to do, you've already done a Tough Mudder?
I've never done a Tough Mudder.
Have
but
you done a Spartan?
I'm doing a Spartan in August with Casey.
Okay.
That'll be my first real obstacle course race.
So
But,
how do you go from training sort of a CrossFit regimen to thinking about doing obstacles?
You really ought to focus on endurance. But part of that endurance, once you start introducing obstacles, is focusing on strengths and weaknesses. A lot of obstacle courses have walls that you got to scale up. You know, that's a lot of upper body strength, and that's where CrossFit really comes in. You're really well-rounded in terms of your strength and endurance. So before starting CrossFit, I was much more of a runner. Probably like Casey had said, he did ultras. I used to do 5, 10, 15 Ks. But to do 10 pull-ups, I'd be like on the floor gasping for air like a fish out of water. CrossFit, it rounds out those imbalances.
So how many pull-ups can you do?
All at once, probably
Yeah.
10 or 15 I'm
That's
up
awesome,
That's all you
man.
got to do, man.
That's
10 or
awesome.
15, that's super. Yeah. And so you've seen this progression of yourself and get it down. I guess these races is probably a way to take what you're learning in the gym and what you're training for and actually doing it, because you don't get to do obstacles very often. And so this is one that you get to put it all together on a 1, 2, 5 mile course and actually get out there and have fun.
Yep, for sure. And just, keeping that steady pace. You don't want to wear yourself out early. You don't want to do the first 2 obstacles and then, basically be out of energy. You just got to learn to know your limits and know where to keep that level. The main thing about endurance is to not run yourself ragged right at the start.
Now, when the race starts, does it start with an obstacle, or do you typically run for a while?
I think it depends on the race.
It does, okay.
I would bet that there's some of both where
So
you
as
run
fast
first.
as you are, which we hear you're fast, you probably have to be careful to pace yourself, don't you, so you don't just go out like crazy.
A little bit, yeah. I've got to remind myself to slow down a little bit on the run so I can not run out of energy by the time I get to those obstacles.
Now, one thing we've got with the Rocket City Urban Challenge is we have team competition, and we will have team competition and elite teams where, we will time each team member. So the team is timed by the 4 or the 8 that finished the event. But you also can do the Spartan race and others where it's just an individual. And so which do you prefer? Do you like the team atmosphere for an event, or do you think you'll like more as an individual?
I like the team atmosphere. It's that camaraderie of being with a couple people that you've worked out with, that you've put in that sweat, blood, and tears, and those hot days like we've had here recently. That's part of the reason I enjoy CrossFit. Is that camaraderie. I used to play football in high school, and you don't find that when you get out into just in the running world, or that's part of that
A lot of tripping.
lacking. Yeah.
And I'm looking at you, Parker.
That's-
Tripping.
Yeah, that's an ugly thing.
You always have someone right there cheering you on, pushing you a little bit harder. Get a person next to you that you want to keep up with, beat to the finish line.
So how competitive will CrossFit Nomad in Madison be?
Well, we already know who's going to win. And
Well,
that's the
who's gonna
Madison
come
County
race day?
Sheriff,
We threw it out there on the Facebook page about hey, who's going to be the hammer dogs of this race, and CrossFit Nomad came in. They had a bunch of entries.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people sign up. I'm sure we'll have a strong showing.
Now we've got we're going to make it again, like I said, where you can have a smaller team where we time everybody, or those folks are just getting into CrossFit. We want to have a team competition as well, where it's just everybody finishes. And I know you all are probably, and Coach Casey and such are probably wanting to train people just to achieve that goal of finishing, just crossing that finish line. But
Well,
you
there's-
don't want that.
There's beer at the finish line too.
There will be beer. There'll be straight to hell beer, and there'll be some Red Bull product and plenty of things to drink. So, are you going to pick 2 or 3 team members to come out and try to win it all?
I'm sure we will. We'll give it our best effort.
Yeah, Casey going to be on your team?
I'm sure he will be.
All right. And so that's 2 out of the. That's at least half the team, and those folks out there training for.
I was looking at Casey when he said that, like, pick me, and he looked away.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, coming from a guy who, like myself, who was the last one standing out in the field to be picked, you know, it's nice to be wanted. Listen, Justin, we appreciate you coming in. We appreciate everything that CrossFit Nomad over in Madison is doing. I imagine you're asking everyone to come out to CrossFit Nomad and join up for all the fun.
Oh, certainly. Come join.
All right. Well, it's over in Madison. Look them up on the internet, and you'll find the great folks to train with, and we appreciate it. We'll be back after these messages on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment here on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. Doug and I have a special guest back in studio from last week, and that's one Miss Brenda McGovern, a nationally ranked, as always, triathlete. Everybody knows her who's done triathlons here, Ironman finisher, etc. She's a state record holder. I mean, you name it, and she does it. But what she does better than anything now is that she handles her celiac disease, and she's gone gluten-free. Brenda, tell us about training gluten-free. How do you do it?
Well, I eat a lot of potatoes.
I like potatoes.
They're very good. They're plain. If I get a flare-up, that calms it down. So I have to keep everything neutral. I find out stuff that is anti-inflammatory to keep that process down. So you have to research which anti-inflammatory the foods you can have.
Now, potatoes sweet or just regular potatoes?
Well, race day or before race day, regular potatoes,
Cool.
because I
How
don't
about
need
rice?
the fiber. And yes, rice I can have, and stuff like that. Salmon, those kind of things. So I've used potatoes and salmon as my pre-race dinner now, where before people would do pizza.
Right.
And so I just got to keep it calm. And then I'll eat something that morning, probably another potato, or I can have the gluten-free toast, that kind of things. But like I said,
That's brutal.
It
is
The
brutal.
gluten-free
Yeah.
toast, I mean, you've got...
I don't know, but Mason-Dixon makes it really good.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
Mason
true.
Dixon now does some
we
great...
did have
that's
some
where I
good
get
stuff.
all my
Yeah.
stuff now. So
What about the sprouted grains? Does that help, or is that still a no-no?
It depends. I've got to watch which grains I can have. I can't have oat. You know, it has to be gluten-free oats, and I didn't know that either. Until I had a
oat had
flare.
gluten.
So,
Yeah.
so now you go almost completely whole food?
Mm-hmm.
Just
And just keep
shop
it
on the
simple.
outside of the the outside aisles of the grocery
Right.
store.
If you can't grow it, then I just don't eat it.
How do greens and such as that affect you at all?
The brown rice is not so bad. White rice depends. But I try to, if I'm in doubt, I just stay away from it. Like I said, I don't bake a lot anymore because
It's no fun.
it's no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything gets expensive. Trying to put gluten-free this, gluten-free that. The flour, it has to be gluten-free flour, rice flour. I eat a lot of rice flour.
Are there any sports supplements you can use, like goos that are gluten-free or that kind of thing?
I have found Cliff bars help. The Kind bars are gluten-free. The Luna bars are gluten-free.
No
So
gels, though?
I do have the gels. That's iffy. You know,
Really?
yeah, it's kind of iffy for me. Just if they're high in sugars, that interrupts my digestive
And gluten's
system.
in a lot of things, isn't it?
It's very
Spices, stuff
much.
that it shouldn't be in.
And you
it's
believe
in.
it or not, it's in shampoos and stuff, and soap.
Well, I don't eat those, so
Yeah,
it's never a
but I'm
problem.
saying is in makeup, you know, if you have a very high sensitivity, and I'm learning that too. I'm like, I didn't eat anything while I'm having a flare up.
Wow.
So you just absorb it through your skin.
And I didn't know that. I'm still learning.
Okay.
You know, so it's been a process, step by step. I had to hire a dietitian to help with the overwhelmingness of this because it was crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess one thing you do as when you're training, you get hungry, and so you want to eat.
Yeah.
You want to be like everybody else at the after race or after training party. And I know you've sat around and and watch the rest of us drink a beer or whatever, and then you're kind enough and sweet enough that you there and you socialize with us, but you can't take part in it.
Right. I just bring my own stuff.
Yeah. So, you're easy to pack for because we don't have to pack
I
anything
know
for
it.
you.
Lots of watermelon. I
Yeah.
can have watermelon.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we're huge on watermelon, and we're glad to have you today. You're very inspirational. You're a great athlete and a good friend, and we appreciate you coming and look forward to training and racing with you this year.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to share the knowledge.
All right. Well, we'll be back after these messages here on Swim Bike Run Alabama. What else we got going on?
I don't want to keep talking about IPAs because we're going to can our Monkey's Uncle, which is our double IPA.
Oh, come on now. Let's
so,
talk about it.
all right, let me grab a
If
can
IPA
real
is
quick.
good, then double IPA is even better. Uh-oh, it's going to crash. It's Jenga.
A brave man. Watch out, Brenda.
Wonder how many of those pallets go out with empty middles.
Yeah. There's a guy in the middle.
The employees' cars ride like this.
How much of the... All right, what's this for?
So this is our Monkey's Uncle. This is
Okay.
our, we call it, technically it's an Imperial, but we call it our double because we do Monkey Knot, Monkey's Uncle, and then we do Gorilla Knot. We've done this beer for 3.5 years now, and we've talked about canning it for 2 years. The can
Okay.
art has been done for 2 years. We finally just pulled the trigger on the cans. They literally got here on Sunday. So, and it's probably our second most requested thing for us to put in a can. The first one we can't put in a can.
So you've done this for 3.5
Unobtainium.
years, and just drink it out of kegs?
Yeah, it's been draft only.
Draft
Out of a
only.
lady's
It
shoe.
used to be when we first made it. It was basically whatever leftover hops we had. We just threw them in there to make this a double IPA with. We've fine tuned that now. We do use the same hop variety on it.
Floor sweepings.
Yeah, originally
That's
it
what
was
we
just
call
like
it at
whatever
work.
we had left
Yeah.
at the end of the year. We just made it.
You
We used to
can-
only make it once a year.
You can use that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Floor sweepings.
I don't know if I want to imply that.
Yeah.
We're in different businesses.
Yeah, that's true.
How often do y'all do? Now, this is just nothing that's civic-minded. Y'all aren't doing
No.
anything.
This is just for us.
This is
Okay.
for pure fun drinking.
Yeah, we do tie into a lot of charities. We try to do as much as we can, especially
Yeah.
in the local
Yeah.
community.
Cool.
So.
All right, this is show 2, segment 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to another segment here on Swim Bike Run Alabama. I'm Parker Edmiston, here with my good friend Doug Tinkham. And as always, from Straight Dale Brewery, Mr. Matt Broadhurst.
Cheers.
Matt, cheers.
Cheers.
Matt's always has something interesting to talk about. And
And it all seems to be monkey-based.
well, it's all monkey, man. He's got the monkey, man. I'm telling you. Now
It's-
he's going to tell us about this monkey's uncle.
It's monkey or devil based around here.
Yeah.
We only go two ways, it seems like. Yeah, so Monkey's Uncle is our double IPA. We've been making it for almost 4 years now. Used to be kind of the end of the year. We take all the hops we had left over, kind of throw a bunch of hops in there, see what happened. It was different every time. We've tightened that up over the last couple of years. And if it's not the first, it's the second most requested item that we get asked to package over unobtainium into cans. We don't think unobtainium would probably do that well.
It
in
would
a
melt the can, wouldn't it?
That's what we worry about.
There's no
so-
vessel that will hold it.
so single IPA versus double IPA.
So single IPA usually falls around 6.25, 6.5%. Ours is 7.25 for our single. This, a double or an imperial, they're kind of interchangeable, the term. Goes up, starts at 8 and goes up.
Is that the only thing that name means is the percentage of alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually the hops that are added. You'll have a little bit more hop bitterness, stuff like that. There's lots of details to it, but usually ABV is kind of what separates those two.
Okay.
So
this is this a high gravity? Considered
So
high gravity?
8%. It's a little bit higher than Monkey Knot, a lot lower than Gorilla Knot.
Okay.
But it's a fan favorite at the brewery. It's one of our personal favorites that we make. When we put it on the tap room and we're able to drink it, we drink a lot of
What
it.
is your favorite beer here?
My favorite beer here?
Your favorite beer
it's
here.
actually our Hella Rye Pale Ale. It's just a real simple pale ale that we do once a year in the summer. It's just a really good, summer beer. It's easy drinking. It's not too high. It's 6.25. It's just a great pale ale.
Is there all right? So interesting question for me and nobody else.
No,
but
we're interested.
there are stouts and porter drinkers.
Yes.
Me.
And
then I don't necessarily like the IPAs.
Yeah.
And so now, I can drink IPAs, but do you find that's typical that someone that likes IPAs doesn't like the darker beers?
No, you do hear that. Actually, I had an email earlier today from a woman that was talking about how much she loved Unobtainium and she loved Lily Flag, but she hates Monkey Knot. She's like, I just don't like IPAs. So you do get that where you get that people that don't cross the border. They stay with what they like. They like the dark or they like the light.
Yeah.
Personally, I can't stand porters.
Yeah.
I love stouts.
is that why you guys don't make one?
Well, no, we just haven't made a good one in a while.
Yeah.
We just, porters for us, it's that weird in between. It's not a stout. It's not a lighter beer. It's actually a pretty difficult style to make.
But an easy style to drink.
It is. And it's just not a style I enjoy. I love stouts. I love quads. I do love dark beers.
No,
I just don't like porters.
a stout to an IPA, that's a radically different.
Huge difference. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the same thing as going, like a saison to an IPA. It's two totally different
A
flavor
saison would be what?
Saison is a French farmhouse ale. Actually, Belgian farmhouse ale. Let me correct myself.
Okay.
Served by a young Belgian girl? That sounds pretty good.
If you're lucky, yeah.
The farmer's daughter.
I could drink that.
Yeah. So I mean,
I've
there's
changed my mind.
That changed my mind. What was I thinking?
so across the board. I mean, there's multiple different styles. Different flavor profiles you're gonna pick up. But I do have people that don't like hops. I have people that Lily Flag Milk Stout. There's a bit of a hop bitterness on the very back end of that beer.
It's the best beer on planet Earth. It's my favorite.
It's huge, but
You didn't ask me when I asked
but-
you, but
But we do some events where people pull that straight up, like too many hops. It depends on your palate and what you're sensitive to.
great can too.
I'm saying right now my favorite beer is this
The fifth anniversary.
Fifth
It's
anniversary,
very good.
man. I'm
Very
telling
good.
you that.
I wish we had more of that.
Wow, just
Except
knocked
for
out of the park.
If you look behind you, we might have put some in bourbon barrels for next year.
Wow. Okay. And they may be at 156 Mountain Heights Circle. If you're missing one later on, don't look.
Well,
you can look
you might
everywhere
have
else, but
trouble
don't
getting
look
it,
in the trunk.
Only you would give your own address.
Yeah, don't look. No, that's the neighbor. So when they rate the neighbors,
You don't know if it's to the left or the right.
The empty
Yeah.
barrel will be there.
Use the nightstick, officer. He said he didn't do it. I don't believe him.
Did you see his bumper sticker? It says, "I hate cops."
Yeah, I hate cops.
Are you talking about Poppy in the tap room?
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh, okay.
So the beers that you like typically you go across the board.
I'll go across the board. I'll go from a quad to an IPA.
Now, can
to
you
a
drink a
stout.
NASCAR beer? Because
I can.
I can't anymore.
So
I've been ruined.
So dirty little secret. I used to be the craft brands manager for Budweiser House.
Okay.
The what now?
I used to be the craft brands manager
Oh,
for
okay,
Budweiser.
I got you.
So
So he has no soul? Is that what you're saying?
no,
mean,
I had
no
no soul,
soul
but I've
was-
gotten it back.
Oh, okay.
I've
It's-
reclaimed
all
it.
right.
When you tell thousands of people that it's a dirty secret,
yeah.
it's not a secret
Yeah, it's not.
anymore.
It's not. People. That's how most people in this market know
Yeah.
me. Is they knew me from that job. I can drink those beers. There's a time and place for those beers. There
Yeah,
absolutely
with
is.
cars going around in a circle.
Yeah.
Mowing your lawn at 105 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't have any in my fridge right now, but if I had one after mowing the yard today when I get home, I'd probably drink
My
it.
13-year-old son mows the lawn now, so I can
Well,
drink
see.
a heavy beer while I
See,
watch
I've-
him through the window.
I keep thinking my 5-year-old's.
Yeah, he's too young.
She's
The bubble
almost-
mower
she's
won't
going,
work.
It doesn't work.
No.
I have very few accomplishments in life, but one that I will cling to is turning Mr. Doug Tinkham into a beer snob.
Yeah. Oh, I am a beer snob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
we work at a brewery. We are beer snobs.
Yeah.
We're, if anything, we're beer snobs. But at the same time, I've drank a Bud. I'm not gonna say a Bud Light, but I've drank a Budweiser. I actually cannot stand Bud Light.
Well,
But
Budweiser
I'll
is the
drink
Imperial. What is it? The
the
King of Beers.
King of Beers. is
King
the
of
thing.
Beers.
But compared to those two, I'll drink a Big Red. I'll drink a Budweiser.
How about a Pabst Blue Ribbon?
No.
Oh, come on now.
So my sister got married 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was either straight ale or PBR. And we were out there early setting up, so like that. And I'm like, if I drink a Monkey, I'm going to be hammered because I was just sweating. It was 90 degrees. So I drank a PBR.
Yeah.
Well, I think I drank a PBR. It might have just been water.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It was not good.
I think
it was
it's sort of the
yeah.
yuppie thing a few years
Yeah,
ago
yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
PBR.
Yeah, it definitely picked
You know,
up.
and listen, I drank PBR years ago. It
Yeah.
blows.
We were
you
in
know.
Charleston, a buddy of mine, on St. Patrick's Day, and the
Yeah.
PBR rep came in and bought beers for us.
Yeah.
And he said the demographic was college kids
Yeah.
and 50 and above
Yeah.
were the only people that drank
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
You know,
mean-
and that's the thing is that there are demographics now. There's definitely separation. It's definitely spread out over the last couple of years where craft beer has picked up more market share. Those guys have lost a little bit. But those
Oh,
guys,
you're putting a
those-
hurting on them.
Yeah, you have choices. You have choices to drink a beer, beer day in and day out that has flavor, or you have something else. And so why not go for flavor?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and like I said, there's a time and place for those beers. You know, the best beer you have is the one in your hand. So
Fifth anniversary. Thank you, Straight to L.
So
and
yeah, if I'm
thank
at a
you,
wedding and that's what
yeah.
I got, I'm drinking it.
Thank you,
know?
Matt Broadhurst, and we'll be back next week with Swim Bike Run Alabama.
Thanks, guys.
Actually, you said run with my arms out like I'm scraping a wall.
Yep.
And knees out the same way, sort of.
How's it feel?
I've run a couple times, and
Feels okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel worse.
no, I'm consciously doing it, so
Yeah.
it's going to take some.
How about the
learning.
exercises?
None. Haven't even opened it yet.
Boo.
He's not a rule follower.
Oh, I'm going to be. I'm going to open the portal.
Okay.
I thought
he's not honest either.
Yeah, I thought. I thought I would give on that. I'll do it. I've been busy.
This is show 2, segment 5, the show of lies.
Welcome back, everybody, to another segment here on Swim Bike Run Alabama. Our special guest this segment is Andrew Walker from PhysioWorksHSV.com. Hey, Andrew, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This week, we're going to talk a little bit more about the run analysis that you did for me and what you were suggesting that I do to correct my deficiencies.
No.
Well, you know, we had
Challenges.
the tears at the end of the analysis, and I felt pretty bad for you. But we
Wait, now, was it him or you?
Oh, I thought he gave up. I thought he quit. He was taking stuff down off the wall when I left. He said, "There's nothing I
Was
can
it a
do
sh-
for this man."
Was it a shotgun?
Yeah, it was nothing I can do for this man.
I was about to call my lawyer and close the business.
If you can help me, you can help anybody.
Dude, that's true. The man runs in pain.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, when it comes down to actually treating someone, there's a multiple different treatments we could do. We could do exercise. We could do manual therapy. We could tape you. We could give you recommendations on technique.
How about exercises to do at home?
Well, we're going to come to that.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Could those be
That's
helpful?
a good idea.
They could be helpful. So
Okay.
yeah, for Parker, there's two things that we really want to do. One is recommendations in the form of queuing. We've talked previously. Queuing, yeah.
Now, you are in the States.
I know.
We
I
don't
know.
queue up.
We
We get
line
in a
up, don't
line.
we? Right.
We do.
Well, we're talking about a different type of queuing.
Right.
It's basically we're looking at the idea of external cues, and we've discussed this a little bit previously.
Cues.
Right. So when Parker runs, he crosses his arms a little bit. And a cue to help him to not do that is to imagine that he's running down an alleyway that is shoulder width, and he runs just gently rubbing the forearms up against the alleyway. And that way he's going to keep his arms going straight and not crossing his body. And all of a sudden he then loses that rotation that he's losing energy with. So that's one type of cueing. And then the other thing is with his knees dropping in. He is to imagine that he's got reflective markers on the outside of his knees, or golf balls or whatever, as a golf analogy for a good man
Thank
here.
you. I haven't been at work long enough.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And he has, as he's running, think about pushing those markers or golf balls to the outside. So he's basically trying to avoid.
So he
letting
needs
his
to
knees
run like
drop
he's
in.
on a horse. How about the stick
I
horse?
run like the letter X.
That's how I sleep.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're the main cues for Parker in terms of what we see with him. And obviously, we talked last time about the cadence. About
I
up
get
in
the
there.
arm thing, but
Yeah.
you lost me on the knee thing. That
trying to
sounds
keep
very
my-
difficult.
Well, I'm trying to keep my knee from going
I get
inward.
that,
So,
but I'm
and I've done it. I mean, at least in my mind, I'm doing it. And so I've run a couple of times this week since the evaluation, and I consciously do that now.
Can you do it and not forget?
Well,
I know with swimming, I forget everything, and
I have to
screaming for
consciously
the lifeguard.
Yeah, I consciously have to think
Okay. Oh,
constantly.
that was the beer
Yeah.
cooler door.
There you go. And actually, I mean, that's you bring up a good point there about the consciousness versus
Yeah.
it being automatic. You know, when you first start doing something, you've got to do it consciously. You've got to give a lot of attention from your brain to it.
What
But
if
then
you were to actually like tape golf balls to his legs? I mean, would that be a helpful cue?
Do you remember
could do
that?
if he wants. I mean,
do you
it wouldn't
remember the
hurt.
exerciser where you would pull it inward? I taped that to my knee.
That was
Man,
Susan. What was her
what
name?
was it? Yeah, the abdominizer or
yeah, I'll
something,
think
or
of
what
it.
was
I'll
it?
think of it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
work
but
on
if you could duct tape that to my knees, I
could
would
be
run like a
chafing.
crab.
But anyway, the more that he
Summers.
actually,
Sorry, Suzanne Summers.
the memory kicks
It
in.
was the butt master or
Okay.
thigh master.
Thigh master.
Thigh master, followed up by the butt master.
The butt master was your name in college.
That will be edited out.
Jane, hit the edit button.
Moving along.
But you know, the more he works, the more
Start
He
here, Owen.
But yeah, the more that he actually works consciously to make a change in that technique, the more it's going to become an automatic thing, especially when we combine it with the other aspect of his treatment, which is exercises. So, you know, he has these specific weaknesses, particularly his glutes, his lateral trunk wall, and we've got exercises that we've recommended he starts with that will help to address those. And then when you combine them with the cueing, that's when the magic happens, really, so to say.
I think on the cueing, you know, it's something that you can, I guess, learn, you know, to do, run a certain way. And I know you told me to up my cadence, and I've tried that without the metronome or whatever the tool is. And then also,
Oh, no, you're the tool.
I am a tool.
I'm a little bitter from that
But-
a moment ago.
But I'm trying to run now, as you said, with my arm scraping the wall, you know, as if I'm running down a court or whatever. And I'm trying that. And so that's something consciously I can do. And I guess once I do that for a number of weeks, you can get back with me and see if there is any change, if I'm
He can-
getting better
yeah.
habits.
Right. Well, yeah, what we talked about at the end, I mean, you know, just as a regular patient, my recommendation to Parker was come back in 2 weeks, and at that point we can progress the exercises, because there were some exercises that he found very challenging to do correctly. And
It's, you know, we had a CrossFit.
was one
person
of those
in.
respond to text messages?
Yes.
Is there a cue for that?
or emails.
Because most
Yeah, or
people,
emails.
it's like the
Yeah.
sound the phone makes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I have a text message.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you know, with the CrossFit folks that were in here earlier in the show, it's just a new. You know, we get used to running, biking, and swimming, but we don't do the CrossFit. We don't do the exercise, the core stuff.
Yeah, it's
typically.
all about core now, isn't it? I
So-
mean, everybody.
Oh, totally.
is
I mean,
all
and
about
that's in
core.
every sport. If you look at actually, you know, golf. Go back to golf. There was
Thank you.
There was an issue of Golf Digest where they had Dustin Johnson.
You read Golf Digest?
I got a free subscription.
Uh-huh.
Dustin Johnson was kneeling on an exercise ball, taking a golf swing. That was how important the core was to him to generate force in his swing.
All right, Andrew, thank you. We'll be back with
See you
another
next
segment,
segment.
and thanks for sticking around with us. We'll be back after these messages.
All right, this is show 2, segment 6, or the Retribution segment.
Welcome back, everybody, on Swim Bike Run Alabama. This is the Retribution segment from Mr. Doug Tinkham.
Well,
Doug, I love you. And we're here with Andrew Walker. Andrew Walker from PhysioWorksHSV.com. Andrew's taken the task on to helping me run pain-free, and you gave me some exercises, and I guess that's typical when you evaluate someone. You sort of work on what they need to do themselves to help themselves with improved run dynamics or mechanics.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh, you're
exactly right.
dynamic.
Well, you know, when it comes down to it, you could look at your own running on a video, and you could go online and you could be, you know, try and get get exercises and think, oh, okay, I'm doing this, that, and the other, and these are great exercises told by some blogger. All right. In fact, there's actually lots of research out there where scientists have looked to see which exercises best target certain muscles, and unfortunately, there are lots of people out there giving exercises for a glute muscle, for instance. And it really is an exercise that hasn't been shown to do that. or it's actually being shown to do something else.
Do you know that Andrew reads a lot, and he's actually debunks a lot of these running myths and show after show?
I enjoy looking at the Facebook posts.
Yeah.
I mean, he puts some good articles out there.
Wonderful blogs and stuff that you do, Andrew.
Well, at the end of the day, I want you to get better quickly, and I don't want you doing things that aren't worth your time, because I know you're a busy guy. So when it comes down to it, I'm giving you exercises that I think are truly beneficial to do and truly research-driven. And also, we're proven via our evaluation that they were hard.
Yeah, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. He's softened me up to the, hey, how many exercises have you done?
It's the warm and fuzzy,
warm and
followed
fuzzy.
by the cool and prickly.
Yeah.
I'll let Doug ask the question.
Yeah.
Parker, you're going to all this trouble.
Yes.
You've been given an agenda,
Yes.
a punch list, if you will.
Right.
How compliant have you been in this?
100%. 100%.
Uh,
And I'm glad to say today that I am 100% compliant.
So, folks, the man is lying.
I am lying. I have done some of the stretches. It's been a busy work week.
Cussing at people on the way over here is not an exercise.
Well, if there was a gold medal for that, I'd have at least 3 or 4
Middle
of them.
finger exercises do not help your hip.
So I've done some of the stretching exercises. I will go through and do the exercises. You will see a change in me, Andrew.
Well, I'm
You'll see a
excited.
change.
I'm honestly excited.
God
to see.
is my witness.
Because one thing.
Starting
Now. That
One-
one was for you, Carrie.
One thing that I actually tell a lot of clients when they come in is, we might not find much in the evaluation. And if that's the case, that's really awesome. It hopefully means that you're in good balance. But when we do find things, then you're quite excited for the person, because you know that there are things that you can change in their running techniques. I mean, it may be some pain relief, but probably better for you is actually a longer running career. Maybe a knee replacement that's put off for many years or
now
never.
You have such a great passion for this. How do you deal with the reluctant client who wants to be better, but just won't take that step to be, what's the word? Compliant.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hard thing.
Who wants to be a little dickish? All right. So, and it's not like you're not. It's not extraordinarily difficult exercises.
It's
I mean,
just
they're
a
so
habit. It's a
simple.
routine.
It's a habit or
Yep.
routine. You
Yep.
gave me easy exercises to do, and you said if I can do them for 15, 30 seconds, whatever, do it. And I just haven't done it, and so you're not asking too much of me. I just need to do it.
Right. Well, and we talked to Susie about this a little bit the other week, that when it comes down to it, if you can see why someone's given you something to do, you're more likely to do it. So, my aim is to give you a thorough enough evaluation that you can see where those deficiencies are, and then where you can actually then show you, how you can improve it. So I think that's winning you over is one part, and I don't think we've not done that. I mean, busy life happens, and
When did we do this evaluation? Monday?
Was it this week?
Was it last week?
We've both been busy apparently.
My belly hurt for 3 days. I'm telling you. I mean,
Dawn, will you get me some soup?
Oh my gosh, my stomach, those muscles, those core muscles hurt for like 3 days. So, but now I'm
This is not a normal thing for anyone.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you are going to have some soreness afterwards. We're working you in a way that you're not used to doing, but
Right, and you had to go through the whole regimen rather
Yeah.
than just the little bit that I need to do.
well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going through a whole regimen so much. It's the assessment and then the treatment is what you need, and
Yeah.
there are other people will come in and I'll evaluate them in a different way and give them different exercises. But the key thing is you'll hopefully come back in 2 weeks' time and you'll be doing well at those exercises, and we can progress you.
I'm coming back.
And we'll
I'm
be
a
back.
changed man. We'll be back after these. See y'all next week.
Sky